Hey lunatics, this is a reading for anyone who finds themselves identifying as an Aquarian or very interested in an Aquarian energy during November 2018. I'm sorry we are running a little bit late for the November reading, but it looks like you all are progressing slowly but steadily on your own. And I do hope that these messages are right on time for you, Aquarians. With the Knight of Pentacles showing up as what's covering you, I get the sense that your material wealth, first of all, is paramount for a lot of you right now, Aquarians. You are focused very much on what you are earning, what you are gaining in a monetary sense, as far as your physical resources during the month of November 2018. Now, while that is your energy on the surface, that is your energy outwardly toward others, subconsciously, in order to continue to progress at this slow and steady rate of earning and gaining, you feel that you have to defend something that you're doing, something that you're believing in, a work that you're choosing to prioritize and engage in at this time. You feel like you have to be braced for opposition is the phrase that comes to mind when I see the Seven of Wands here. Again, this is subconsciously. You have your emotions in check because you are braced for opposition, Aquarians. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Someone embodying the Knight of Pentacles energy is, as I said, progressing along in whatever pursuits they're prioritizing at a slow and steady pace and rate, right? So it does make sense that that person, that individual, would then have to or encounter the need to along the way stand up for how they are gaining slowly and steadily. A lot of times when you're making progress in a slow but steady rate, other individuals may question how long it's taking you to get somewhere. And that might make you have to stand up for your process, the way that you're going about gaining whatever you're working toward, and why it's taking as much time as it is. This character is also loyal, dependable, practical. This is a very practical energy. It's an earth energy, of course, Capricorn, Taurus, and or Virgo. And maybe you have some of those energies that are significant in your own chart that are really standing out right now, that you're really embracing or allowing to take the reins and the forefront of your activities at this time. This character can be very stubborn. This character pays attention to detail in his or her work, right? Again, reminding us of that phrase, slow and steady. A slow but steady worker would pay attention to the details of the project, of the work, and be stubborn about the details that they needed to be, and also work with a sense of purpose. And it may be that sense of purpose that is driving you, that is causing you to take your time. And it may be that sense of purpose that is what you have to stand up for, is what you have to defend. Subconsciously, you may feel like others around you don't understand why that sense of purpose is so worthy, why the way you're going about making your progress is the best way to do so. And you need not convince them, right? It isn't necessarily the only way to achieve what it is that you're after, or the best way necessarily, right? We have to remember that best is a subjective idea and term. And so, what you may be defending and standing up for could be your own beliefs about what is worth your energy, what is worth your time, what is worth taking your time to achieve. And something that is an obstacle for you here as you are defending those beliefs, defending that process, and yes, continuing to progress slowly but steadily. Something that is an obstacle for you is the Nine of Cups in reverse. So this idea of lacking self-love. Perhaps some of us Aquarians are feeling a little bit defensive. I wish you could see these. I'm sorry. Feeling a little bit defensive because we ourselves are questioning that sense of purpose that's driving us. We ourselves are questioning the process, the way we're going about achieving our goals, meeting our material needs, gaining the resources that we're after. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely getting the sense here that we are, a lot of us Aquarians, we are subconsciously feeling defensive toward other people about our process, about our purpose, about our drive, about how long it's taking us to get where we're going. And the obstacle isn't actually these other people. It isn't actually these energies outside of ourselves that we feel like we have to make an argument for ourselves to. It's not these other people that we're defending ourselves against. The obstacle is actually in loving that purpose and that process and that attention to detail ourselves. Owning that this is what I think is purposeful for me. This is what I believe my purpose is. This is the way that I believe I should go about attaining these goals. I think a lot of our obstacle this month is just loving what we've chosen for ourselves. In a lot of ways, what I'm saying is just loving our own path. The path that we've chosen for ourselves, whether or not anyone else around us understands. Now, progress is expedited this month, Aquarians, and I love to see that. I'm a lunar Aquarian. And that absolutely resonates. It's not within my outer world, it's within my inner world that progress is expedited. So if you're watching this as a lunar Aquarian, then this expedited progress is probably something that you're seeing within yourself. I'd venture to say if you're a lunar Aquarian watching this, you're doing a lot of shadow work this month, like me. And that's going to reflect in our work just as soon as we commit to doing the work, right? It reflects in who we are and in how we go about, again, that slow and steady process. But this month, it's expedited, even if it is just within. Now, for those of you who are Aquarian suns, rising Aquarians, you will be seeing this progress possibly in your outer world. Things coming to fruition, goals being met. Overall, the progress is slow and steady, yes, like the Knight of Pentacles denotes, but there the gas pedal is hit. There's some acceleration this month in November. There's some very tangible progress made. Because we are willing to defend our goals, our purpose, our process. That Eight of Wands, that expedited progress, follows the Seven of Wands. being braced for opposition, being okay with the fact that you have so much opposition. Now, for a lot of you Aquarians, there is an air sign energy who is translating as a weakness of yours, of ours. A fellow air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, or another Aquarian outside of yourself, probably mature and very masculine in energy, whether they are actually female or male. For a lot of us, this is who is either questioning our process and questioning our purpose, or who is making us feel like we need to question our purpose and process. But for a lot of other Aquarians, this is yourself. It's your own tendency to overthink things. And I'm hearing your own need to perfect things that is coming across as a weakness, because of course this can be an Aquarian energy, and it may be our own energy that's coming across here in the reading as a weakness. The Justice card now showing up as a strength, which is Libra's card. The phrase that comes to mind is, the precise and impartial truth cuts away the untruth, or the untrue. And justice can be about someone being merciless with that truth, with the ability to see it, to wield it. It balances karma, this energy right here. When the precise and impartial truth cuts away the untrue. It balances out karma. So for some of you, definitely for some Aquarians, there is a significant Libra energy in your life that is both a weakness and a strength. This individual helps you, but they question you. This individual gives you support, aids you, maybe financially supports you, but they cause you to question yourself. And I'm noticing, this is only my 4th November reading, but I'm noticing that these readings are very specific, and I know that will be very specific to just some Aquarians, but that is the message coming through for some. While others may be dealing with Libran energy in general in the cosmos, and I'm going to take a glance at my astrological notes again. You would think I would have this November-ish memorized by now, but what do we have happening in Libra? That's right, Venus stations direct here in just a few days. It's already the 11th as I'm recording. It'll be the 12th before I have this posted, so just in 4 days for you. Venus will will go direct on the 16th in Libra. So for some of you, definitely what's coming through for me right now is that Libran energy, Venus having been retrograde and now going direct, is exactly what I said, both a weakness and a strength for you. Venus having been retrograde and causing us to question our loves, our loving relationships, and also the way that we engage in loving relationships in general, has certainly been both a weakness and a strength for many. I know that, I mean, personally it has been, and I've talked to people who it has been. Ultimately, it is helping us to grow and evolve, but presently, it could be it could feel like a challenge presently, although it's not stopping your progress. Your progress is definitely expedited this month with that Eight of Wands showing up. And when I was shuffling and meditating before recording, the Chariot came out for you. So you're moving forward, Aquarians, with this youthful, energetic confidence that is ensuring your health and your wealth is paramount to you. You are ready to mow over the energies that are stopping you from succeeding and gaining what it is that you know you need. And what it's building toward in the very near future, so I'd say certainly by the end of the month and maybe even sooner, is this divine masculine energy. Now, for some, that could mean that you're moving very soon in the near future toward meeting a divine masculine energy that it greatly influences you, if not partners you. But for others, for a lot of us, we're talking about owning this energy ourselves, owning the divine masculine within us, whether you're male or female. We're talking about being your own boss, owning your own power, calling the shots in your life and taking full responsibility for decisions made, choices made. Ultimately, definitely at least by the end of the month, but more likely at this point, since we're already on the 11th, the 12th, moving into December, we have this energy of the Four of Swords, solemn meditation, and contemplation, solemn meditation and contemplation, literally alone, by yourself, just you and you, going within, showing gratitude for all that you've gained, healing from all that you've lost. This is what we're headed toward. And I think it takes us stepping into that Emperor energy, our own power, owning our divine masculine, owning the fact that we are in charge in our own lives. I think it takes that energy coming in before we're ready to go within and do that solemn meditation, that solemn contemplation, where we can face both what we have lost and what we have been able to maintain and what has grown and evolved during battles. That's what this energy is, and this is what we're headed towards. This is a soldier after battle. I know we see this young girl almost lying here, and often it is that type of energy, a young female who feels like a warrior, who feels like a soldier who's been through battle. That's the type of energy we're talking about. You feel like you've been through battles. Many of us have recently. And we not only need to heal and not only need to evaluate what has been lost in those battles, but first and foremost, we need to show gratitude for what's left, for the strength that allowed us to make it through those battles, for what has grown as a result of those battles. And that's mostly us that has grown as a result of those battles. We are now able to step into and or meet this Emperor energy, the divine masculine. Maybe it's outside of ourselves. That would be nice. But maybe it's within us, which is even better. Right? The divine masculine in your life, the boss, the authority, who has the power? You, us, we do. And that's what we will be showing gratitude for in that space, right? This has been able to flourish, grow, evolve, or at the very least, to continue to be maintained throughout these battles. You do still own your power. Maybe you have had to defend your beliefs, your process, your purpose against a lot of, or very significant energies in our lives, in your lives. But we're headed towards something that we have known, that we've wanted for a very long time. I say that as this Knight of Pentacles is really faced toward our past. To me, that says, you know, he's headed towards something from the past. He's headed towards something we've known, we've wanted for a very long time. And it may have been very confusing for us in the past as we progressed toward this ownership of our own choices, our own beliefs, our own, again, way of going about attaining what it is that we think is purposeful and what we think is meant for us, right? There may have been some confusion because of the energies around us, because of possibly this significant air energy around you. Now, if it's not a significant Libra, Gemini, or another Aquarius, if it's not your own tendency to, again, overthink and try to perfect things, then it can just be someone around you, around us, who embodies those air qualities, right? Somebody very cerebral, very intellectual, somebody who has very good ideas. They're just very, very smart. They're very wise counsel. So it's somebody who would behoove you and benefit us to work with, to ask, how do you think I'm doing? What do you think about my progress? But like I said, this might be somebody who is both hindering and helping you, Aquarians. And what I was getting at is, though we may have been confused by their influence in the past, and not just them, our own overthinking, whomever it is that we felt like we needed to defend our purpose and our process against, we're not confused anymore. The overall energy of the reading is the Seven of Cups in reverse. And what I feel coming through first and foremost is that we are not confused. We know what we want now. At this time, November 2018, the reason that we're able to progress at a slow, steady rate, and we're able to find that power to own our choices, our beliefs, our direction, our purpose, our process, is because we know what we want. We know what we're after. We're not confused. It's not just a fantasy. It's not just a high hope. It's not just a dream. It's something that we are moving toward because we've wanted it for so long. Now, the other warning that comes across with this is to not fall into a state where we don't have those interests any longer. We can't be afraid to imagine what it is that we really want, what it is that we've wanted for so long, coming to fruition. It may have seemed impossible in the past. It might still seem impossible on some level to some of you now, but if we're afraid to imagine that coming to fruition, then it won't, right? We have to imagine it. We have to see the picture fully and clearly and believe, and it's in the fact that it can take shape. It can be part of our real world. So this air energy, this mature, masculine, cerebral energy that is coming across as a weakness for you, whether it's part of yourself or not, is someone who is involved in the work that you love to do, this purpose that we're talking about. It's someone who is watching your process closely, and whether or not they're directly involved, they're questioning it. You see how these two characters are appraising the artist's work here? This is the type of energy we're talking about. This is who Aquarians are feeling like they have to defend themselves against in some way. And it, for some Aquarians, what I'm feeling as I'm talking about this, for some Aquarians, it's another air sign, not necessarily someone that you see as an air sign. Maybe their rising sign is Gemini, or their moon sign is Libra, right? It could be someone who, it could be a partner or an ex-partner who's not really present in the moment, but they dropped a comment. They said something to you that stuck with you, that makes you question your progress, and subconsciously may even make you feel like you have to defend your very purpose itself. Note that. If that resonates with you, note the fact that that is a weakness. That's not helping you progress. Questioning your process and your purpose, it's not pushing you along right now. And your process, your progress rather, is expedited, as I said, with the Eight of Wands. And I think for a lot of Aquarians, what I'm talking about is the fact that you're moving through that shadow work, so to speak, whether you're consciously acknowledging that that's what you're doing or not. I think you on your own are moving past that. You're moving through that. You're seeing who makes you feel like you have to defend how you go about your work, how you go about moving slowly and steadily. And slowly is the key for some of you. For some of us, what we're running into is that someone or multiple people or some part of ourselves feels like our progress is moving too slowly. We also have the Ten of Wands in reverse showing up for us as well, and the Magician in reverse. So for those of you who are in a space of questioning your own process, your own progress, to the point that your expedited progress is only internal. As I said, like, especially if your moon sign is Aquarius, like mine, is probably just internal progress at this point. For those of you who need to acknowledge that you might be a little bit afraid to imagine this dream of yours coming to complete fruition because you're afraid that it is just a dream. These are the reasons why, right here. One, you need a break. You need to just take some time away from it. You need to literally let yourself relax. It doesn't seem productive, but it is. And there's some part of you that feels like you do not have all of the tools that you need to complete this task, this work, to attain these goals. These are the things to explore, right? Why do you think that's true? Do you actually believe that there is some knowledge, some certificate that you don't have, that you need? Or is it this air sign? Is it this cerebral energy? Is it this person appraising your work who's making you believe that you don't have those tools? And for some of you, it's one. For some of you, it's the other. Some of us really do need to acquire some more knowledge, some more tools, some more help, some more support to attain what it is we're after, to allow this dream to come into focus, to be more than just a mirage, right? But for others, you do have all the tools you need. You just need to stop questioning yourself based on what someone else is saying to you, right? And in order to assess which one of those things it is, a break is literally required. Take some time. You'd be surprised how often that activity that you've been wanting to make time for, or that show you've been wanting to make time to watch, will inform you about yourself and about your process and your work in ways you couldn't have imagined. And then afterwards you think, oh gosh, that's why I felt this innate intuitive pull to take time away from what I thought was important at the time and go do something that seems silly and frivolous. If it's something that your soul is drawing you toward, it's probably not silly and frivolous. It's probably going to inform exactly what it is that you're doing. And then we have the Four of Swords showing up again, just to really beat that message home, to speak up exactly what I'm saying, to speak up with exactly what I'm saying again, to emphasize it is the word that I can't seem to find. Because it's your distant outcome, so it's the end of the month or the beginning of December, and it's on the bottom of the clarifier deck as well. And it's exactly what I'm talking about, taking a break. And in that break, as I said, it's important to remember not only to assess what have I lost in previous battles, who am I as a warrior for this purpose that I'm moving toward and with, but also, what am I grateful for? What has helped me up to this point? What has grown? What has evolved within me up to this point? And I think for so many of us Aquarians, it's this divine masculine energy. It's owning our own power. It's making our own decisions. And yes, taking responsibility for those decisions. Not allowing anyone else to hold us down. And not allowing us to hold us down, right? I do want one advice card for us as well. But when we own that power, when we own that responsibility, when we know that it is our choice and our decision, that our decisions and our choices that take us in any given direction that we choose to go with our free will, we must also not allow our own energy to hold us down. The Knight of Pentacles is celebrated for being stubborn and having an attention to detail. And we can take that too far, to the point of, again, as I said, not to repeat myself, but I will, to perfectionism, to overthinking things. And I celebrate thinking things through to the nth degree. I am a lunar Aquarian, but there is a need for the term overthinking. Thinking things through to the extent that they need to be, and then just beating a dead horse when you already have thought it through. Questioning yourself just for the sake of questioning it. We have to ask ourselves where that's coming from, right? And when we own that power, when we own those decisions and the responsibility for the consequences of our decisions, we too at the same time own the responsibility for holding ourselves down, holding ourselves back, for calling overthinking productivity when it's really just a way to halt progress, right? The Ace of Water. There, that's a better view. Can you see? I wonder if you can see the heart that he's offering. The Ace of Water, or the Ace of Cups in many other decks, is intense sharing. A new love or a renewed love. An opportunity for true happiness. As your advice cards, Aquarians, I feel like it's telling you to share intensely. I don't know if some of your work, if I'm speaking to people whose work entails sharing with a lot of people, for example, the way that I am here, maybe you share on YouTube or some other platform on the internet, Or maybe you're just hesitant to share with anyone at all because you have these energies around you that are, as I said, appraising your work and maybe a little skeptical about the process, the progress, the rate at which you're working. But the advice is to share intensely. Share with a lot of people, and or share a lot of yourself, a lot of your work, a lot of what makes you feel vulnerable to you. Offer it up. That's the advice, you know, if you are to follow what the cards are saying to us. And then you do have the Queen of Air showing on the bottom of the deck. Someone with clairvoyant, claircognizant abilities, perhaps, if that doesn't resonate with you. Someone who can see the truth. And the air signs are us, right? That is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra again. And you do have two showing up, the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, both showing in the reading. So again, it may be a partner or an ex-partner, a match, even a soulmate, someone very significant, like a divine masculine or a divine feminine, who is doing that appraising and questioning of your work. And that can make it very difficult. And then no wonder the challenge is self-love. It can make you question your own path. But I think that expedited progress for a lot of us is in the sense that we are now this month we're no longer allowing any part of us to deceive us into believing that anyone else has that power over us besides ourselves. Who's the boss? We are. Who's in charge? Who makes the decision? Who calls the shots? Who decides the direction? We do, right, Aquarians? It's very, of all the signs, it's very difficult for us to hand that power over to anyone else, and I don't see why we would. But what we do sometimes is convince ourselves that we have. We convince ourselves that we've handed that power away. But it's very rare that we actually do. So I don't even want to say it's about taking our power back from anyone. It's just about reminding ourselves that we never gave it away. That even these energies around us that may be appraising our work very closely and causing us to question our own path and purpose, they don't really have the power in our life, right? They don't really have the power in our work. Most importantly, they don't really have the power in our work, and they can't, in your advice, stop you from sharing whatever you've created, whatever you believe in, whatever our purpose is, with a lot of people. They can question our process. They can question the result of our work, but they can't stop us from sharing it with other people who may very well resonate with it on a very deep level, and in turn give us a boost of confidence and belief in what we're doing, remind us why we're doing what we're doing, right? And I think that that's what we'll find too in this space of solemn meditation and contemplation, where we show gratitude for what we've earned, gained, managed to maintain throughout recent battles of sorts. I think that's a lot of what we'll find is a renewed love for what it is that we do, what it is that we've chosen, what defines our path, what we call our purpose, or even just what we believe currently our purpose may be. If you are headed towards something that feels purposeful, but deep down you think, I don't know if that's ultimately my purpose. If it feels purposeful now, then it is taking you toward the next purposeful action and the next purposeful action. And in the long run, it will all be part of the painting that is your purpose, right? If you follow, it may be that you're not 100% sure that that's the purpose for you forever. That is the thing you will always want to be your main focus. But if it feels purposeful now, there's a reason for that, and it is leading you somewhere. And I think that's what we'll find in that space, is a renewed love for, again, the path that we're on now, what we have chosen. And with that said, if this path that is laid out here is not one that you like, that you love, but it does describe you currently, you can get off of it. If it describes a path that you like very much, but you're not yet on, you can jump onto it. This could be a reading saying, this is a path that's here for you, you're just not choosing it yet. If it's close, but you'd like to edit some things about that path, go about doing that, because these readings are never meant to box you into a determined outcome. They're meant to show you a potential path or a few potential paths and remind you that you have so much power of choice in your free will to again, edit that, jump on or off of any given path. And that's not just, the readings I give you. That's, readings that you find from any readers or readings that you do for yourself. These are potential paths. This one, though, Aquarians, if it resonates with you, looks lovely in my opinion. Again, expedited progress, owning your own power, owning your own choices, and headed toward a space of true gratitude. Your own personal gratitude. Not what you're supposed to feel thankful for, not what someone else has told you to show gratitude for. What you truly feel grateful for. Your survival. This purpose has flourished out of and from a very authentic part of you. And in spite of people feeling like, making you feel like you have to defend what that purpose is, and you have to defend the way you go about it, expressing it to the world, in spite of people feeling like you have to defend how long it's taken you to express this purpose, to live out this purpose, it has survived. Many things have made you question the path, question the purpose, and yet it has survived. And there's a reason for that, right? And all of us, given the opportunity to go within alone and consider what it is we're truly grateful for, would find that is one of those things. The fact that those authentic pieces of us, that those authentic drives that belong just to us, have survived being questioned. And not only that, like I said, it's the progress is expedited this month. So I will leave it at that. We are way past the amount of time I meant to spend on this reading, Aquarians, but I love the message. I love all of you, and I really hope that this message helped. I hope that it offered you something that you didn't have when you came to the reading. And thank you so much for checking it out. Thank you for likes and subscribes. I really appreciate that. And messages, emails, orders, and donations. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate each and every one of our energy exchanges here. If you would like a private reading, just scroll down or check out my YouTube channel or email me at lunartixtarot@gmail.com. I'd love to work with you, and I will post another tarot fix for us just as soon as I can, Aquarians.